Hi, this is Brandon with Kennebec Life and Craft. A huge barrier to entry for anybody who wants to get into hand tool woodworking is sharpening. In this video, I want to look at this new jig from Jonathan Katz-Moses and to see if this thing can help you to get over that barrier and get the kind of results that you want when it comes to sharpening your tools. Just to get it out of the way from the very beginning, this is not a sponsored video. I do not know Jonathan Katz-Moses. I bought this with my own money. In fact, the money that I bought this jig with was money that I got for selling my old jig. I had a jig from another company, a honing guide from another company that I had been using for quite some time. But when I saw this jig, it appeared to me that finally there was something that was not only financially accessible for a lot of guys that are getting into woodworking, but it was something that would also be dead accurate and it would be speedy in regard to getting the results that we want when it comes to sharpening. And so I went ahead and I sort of made a little bit of a gamble and bought this when it came out, thought the video looked good on it and all of that. And so went ahead and purchased it with my own money, and I just wanted to get that out of the way before we begin. To some degree, this might look a little bit complicated, but it's really not at all. In fact, this kind of reminds me of something like the game of Battleship. Stick your ship in, B1, B2, boom. But this is a really well set up jig. This is magnetized so that when you stick it in there, it's a very strong magnet. In fact, it holds the entire contraption. Now on the back of this, there are a couple spots where you're meant to stick your thumb. And as I've been using this, one thing I've realized is the best way to go about this is to stick your thumbs exactly where they're supposed to go. Put your pointer fingers on the clamp itself, and then put your middle fingers onto these nuts or screws. And that helps you to really get the kind of pressure that you want when it comes to the sharpening on your stone. But this thing really is rugged. It is not a giant contraption. When I was first seeing it in the initial videos and pictures, it looked like it was bigger than it actually is. It is not a big contraption. It's not going to take up a lot of space in your shop or anything like that. It's definitely compact, but you get a lot out of this thing. And I absolutely love the feel of it, the hardware, the machining. It's very easy to clean. All of that is right. All of that is the way that it should be. An extremely unique feature about this is that it can handle skewed blades very well, whether we're talking about sharpening knives or skewed block planes or skewed chisels for your dovetailing. Those kinds of skewed angled blades do sharpen very well on this jig. Now, another tip that I'll give you when it comes to locking this down and making sure that your chisel will be perpendicular to your stone is I like to push the front of the blade like so, and then the back end with my body like this. And then I'm able to lock it in place quite easily, and then you're good to go. This 3D stop here has a lot more options on it, as you can see. They bring you all the way from 35 degrees to 20 degrees. And I really like the little tip that he gives in his video about this functioning a bit like a kickstand. As you can see here, you can rest it down quite easily, and that functions nicely as a kickstand. The tip that I have for you as a result of working with this for a bit is you need to make sure that your clamping pressure from both of these screws is the same. Otherwise, you'll end up with a gap right here and have an unevenness or a lopsidedness when it comes to the clamping of this. And obviously, that's not going to work well when it comes to your sharpening. So you're going to want to make sure that you get your pressure evenly distributed across this whole blade, and that'll help you a lot when it comes to getting the results you need. Once you're all locked in and you're ready to go, this thing really does ride well on this stone. And as I can show you, we'll get our stones right here. And the stability of this little jig is excellent. The wide clamp holds the blade down flat. The registration on the magnetic fence holds this blade square, and the large roller registers well on the sharpening stone no matter where you are on the stone itself. So if you come over to the end here, you're still registered quite well, and you're not going to tip over or fall off the edge of the stone. If you're new to hand tool woodworking and you need to get your chisels sharp and you want to work on even up to your timber framing chisels, depending on how thick they are, you can get those into this clamp, and you can do even tools that are that big. If you're new to all of these things and you don't know exactly what sharp is and what it means to work with an actually sharp tool, this jig right here I really do think is going to get you across that finish line. It's going to help you to cross that barrier so that that's just not in the way of your woodworking. People don't get into woodworking because they want to sharpen. They just realize that it's a necessary evil to the whole gig. And so when it comes down to it, do I think that this thing is worth it? Do I think that it was worth even trading in my old one in order to be able to pick this one up? I really do. It has a lot more features. It can do more out of the box than a lot of other jigs. And when you consider even the price of this thing, at the time of this recording, this is $79.99, which really, for what it is, I don't think it's a bad price at all, especially when you start comparing it to many of the other jigs that are out there on the market. So would I recommend this? I would definitely recommend this to you if you're interested in sharpening your tools and getting a good, repeatable, accurate result. This Katz-Moses jig is going to get you there. Okay, until next time, God bless you, and we'll see you then.